so we see how tall it is.
It's about 6 feet.
That's pretty close to 6 foot up.
Yep.
Just to have that caught on a tree like that.
Yep.
When precipitation falls in southern Adams County, much of it is drained off by Rock and Marsh Creeks, a pair of south-flowing creeks running to the east and west, respectively, of Gettysburg. The two creeks join at roughly the Maryland state line to form the Monocacy River. The river flows over a gauge in Bridgeport, operated by the United States Geological Survey, which monitors the flow of the river and presents its data on the Internet. The sensor, hidden in a concrete pipe just below a bridge on heavily traveled Taneytown Road, measures the flow of water gathered from a 173 square mile triangle roughly bound by Cashtown to the northwest, the intersection of PA 394 and Old Harrisburg Road to the northeast, and that stream gauge, about 5 miles as the water flows south of the Maryland state line.
To tell how high the water is, it's really working on water pressure on a sensor inside of that tube.
Right. During that, Middle Creek and Tom's Creek come in below this area by a mile or 2 or 3. So it's measuring a large part of the water coming out of Adams County. And it's based on pressure. The United States Geological Survey comes down here and calibrates this so they know at how many feet above the gauge, how much flow there is. So when you look, and this is real time, you can get on the internet and look at it, you can know what the flow is, as well as the height of the river at this point.
Normally, the Monocacy River is only about a foot deep as it flows over the gauge, but on July 28, some abnormally heavy rain clouds came through the area, dropping about 2 inches on Marsh Creek, 3 on Rock Creek, and equally large amounts southward toward the Bridgeport Gauge. I was lucky enough to meet a couple of USGS technicians taking advantage of the heavy flow to calibrate the gauge.
My name is Corey Wright.
Corey Wright.
Yes.
And what office are you out of?
The Frostburg office.
That's a long ride from here.
Yeah, we try to cover Maryland as best we can between Frostburg field office and the Baltimore office.
Oh, okay.
So,
now, how often do you actually get down here to manually check this?
yeah, generally once every couple months we'll come down here and make a measurement unless something's wrong or we get high flows.
Okay.
The float measures water depth and flow as it's drifted across the river at the end of a rope, then sends the information to be presented as a graph that anyone with internet access can see and study.
It'll keep an accumulating count of the discharge until you get to the other side, and it'll add everything all together.
Okay. Does it tell you how much, if that's normally dry, where that is, how much water's under it now? 4 feet? Wow.
The nearly level line coming in from the left shows the normal water level at about 2 feet, then jumps to nearly 10 feet as the runoff from upstream land and smaller streams reaches the gauge. The red asterisk marks the water level when Wright and his partner performed a manual test. A few days and several smaller rain events later, the river is almost back to normal, ready for fisher folk, waders, and kayakers to enjoy a day on the water.